I mean, Dana Child Turnquest. We'll give him all his names. We'll put his whole government on there. And today I'm really focused on eliminating my debts completely and getting to the place where my investment income makes more money than I do at work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else want to go real quick before we get started? Name, where you're calling in from, who invited you, and what area of your finances would you love to tackle?
Hey everybody, this is Stephanie Stewart from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, invited by Mr. Dana Turnquest. And one area that I am trying to work on, or that I will tackle, is going to be making more money so I make more money than I spend. Because the way these life is set up, I just be spending. So we can make more money, that'll be great.
We're definitely going to cover that. I'll take a couple more before we get started.
Okay, my name is Edna Jarrett. I'm calling you from White Plains, Virginia, and Lewisburg, North Carolina. And I was invited by Mr. Richard Harden. And what I'm looking to invest in or open up is more income residually. I really need that.
Absolutely, Edna. We are definitely going to cover that for sure.
Yes,
excellent, excellent.
Hey, Dana, it's Tia checking in from Virginia. How are you this afternoon?
Excellent, Miss Tia.
Awesome, awesome. I was invited by Mr. Dana Turnquest to the call, looking to continue to build my residual and my investment income.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Nice to see you, Tia. And we'll have more and more guests logging in, but anyone else want to go real quick? We're going to get started in just about another 60 seconds. So again, quick intro, name, where you're calling in from, who invited you, and what area of your finances you would love to tackle.
Hi, this is Chris. My name on the screen is Chef Chris. I was invited by Tia Glenn. Thank you, Tia. And I guess this is going to be like an informational session for me. So I want to just learn more about what MWR has to offer.
All right, Miss Chris, Chef Chris. Listen, a good chef, that's hard to come by. So welcome to the call, Chef Chris.
Thank you much.
All right, I'll take one more before we get started. Just quick introduction, who you are, where you're calling from, who invited you, and what area would you love to tackle or at least hear about on tonight's call?
Hi team, my name is Latasha Easterling Turnquest from Manchester, Connecticut, invited by my husband, Dana Turnquest. And I'm one of the people that's a little bit of an outlier sometimes. I love my job. I love what I do. I'm still here. Six-figure earner alone, right? However, there's always that extra. I have 2 grandbabies, so I want to make sure that they are set and straight. They're only 18 months and 6 months, but like, you know, when it comes to paying for childcare and, you know, whether they want to go to private school, I want to make sure that they're taken care of.
All right, excellent. I can't argue with that. And if I did, I live with her, so I'd pay for that. So we're not doing that. All right, and Lionel, I know you wanted to go. We'll end with Lionel's introduction. We'll get right into it.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, my name is Lionel. I'm out in Seattle, Washington. Got invited by Dana. Just interested in learning more about what MWR is, what it does, and how it can bless me and my family.
Excellent. And folks, if you are checking in, if you don't mind, just type in the chat where you're calling in from, who invited you, so we can at least be able to follow up with folks and make sure that we get you what you came for. Now, I'll do a quick introduction and I'll actually use some of my team members to kind of help with this conversation, because at the end of the day, we are all here for the same reason. Everyone has some of the same challenges. A lot of our stories are similar also. Again, my name is Dana Kyle Turnquest, as Richard Harden pointed out. My wife and I, we live here in Connecticut and things are decent, right? 14 months ago, we were a little bit nervous because COVID hit. And even though my wife and I make good money, things were looking like this. We own real estate. The government said our tenants didn't have to pay their rent. We were like, wait, what? Right, income was crazy. Prices were going through the roof. And we were scratching our heads. Then I got a phone call in June. And over the last 14 months, and again, I'm going to share the whole thing, but in the last 14 months, our household cash flow increased by multiple 5 figures, right? We went from owing the government to getting money back in our checks, right? Our income, right? Our passive income, money that is made on autopilot, whether I get out of bed or not, increased also by multiple 5 figures. And we had a shift in our assets, right? We were losing money in a 401k. We shifted into a different type of account. We're going to talk about that later. And now we've grown our assets up to about 6 figures with all the stuff that we've been able to do in the last 14 months. So when you look at the last 14 months and then take this into account, and my wife's story is just as interesting. I'm just a poor boy from Harlem, New York, right? Grew up in some of the poorest parts of New York City. And my mother was a single parent. You know, it was her and her 4 kids, right? 3 girls and a boy. I'm the boy. And for years, I just remember, you know, being poor, not broke, like poor, like government cheese poor, food stamp poor. And I always wanted to be able to be financially independent and at some point take care of my mother financially also, right? So throughout the life that she had and what she poured into her kids, that was one of my main goals, was to be successful and become financially secure to help out my family. Now, here's the cool part. I did everything she told me to do. I was a good son. I was a good steward of my mom, right? And she told me probably the same thing she told y'all, right? Or your mother told you. Whose mother told them, if you want to be successful, stay in school. Don't come home with no bad grades, because we ain't doing that, right? Get your behind into a good college, because you're going to need a good what? A good job, right? And not just any job. You need a good job. Don't listen. I ain't paying for all of this, so you got to pay for the stuff yourself. You need to get a good job, hopefully one that has some benefits.
With benefits, yep.
Pension, right? Oh, did your mothers tell you this too?
Yep.
Yes, I
Or did
did.
my mother just call all your houses just to tell you all this? Because we all heard the same thing.
Mhm.
And we all heard that. And then the goal was house in the suburbs, you know, 2.5 kids, white picket fence, dog named Spot. Folks, guess what? We came as close to that as we can. I got a dog named Ivy. We got a privacy fence. We got an in-ground pool in the suburbs. But here we were still struggling when COVID hit. And that COVID did one thing for us all. It showed everyone how vulnerable our finances are. And here's the thing, we're not even out of the woods yet. So if nothing else, coming to this conversation today, one thing we have to know is whatever we're doing, we are not even close, and we got to set up our finances better forever, right? So folks, I know some folks are visual. I got some slides I'm going to share as we talk to this, and I'll even have some time for folks to ask questions later on. But I'm going to cover everything. We're going to go through everything, this whole system that we have that we call income shifting or the complete financial makeover. Now, here's the deal, folks. We live in a country. Screen sharing has failed to start. Okay, that is interesting. I've never seen that before.
Gotta pay this up for it, bro.
Try this one more time. Here we go. All right. Now, you guys all see that?
You know what I always want to say? This is good. I always wanted to take
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it, Dana.
fucking hot cocoa section.
Yes, I can
One
see it.
second.
That shit all so.
You say you're hungry, Junior?
So to be fair, if you have background noise, make sure you mute yourself. I'm going to, who can I assign? I'm gonna make Mr. McCrae my co-host to help me with some of the sound editing. And by editing, I mean muting folks who don't mute themselves.
No problem.
All right, folks, listen up, folks. So here it is. Here it is, real simply. We live in a country where the rich get richer and the poor get poor. Anyone ever heard that before? Right? We hear it all the time. Now, here's the problem. Again, during COVID, we saw this gap get wider and wider and wider. We saw folks who could not pay their bills, could not pay their mortgages, were pulling money from 401ks, were living off of credit cards. We had 34 million Americans living below the poverty line. And why is this the case in the richest company on the planet? I mean, richest country on the planet, one of the richest countries on the planet? Because most of us have been educated in a formal, antiquated, outdated educational system that does not teach us anything about money. And on the other side of that great divide is the fact that we have more millionaires than most countries have, even people. We have more billionaires we've created over the last few years than we've had in the history. And their educational system is very different than ours. They are taught about money. They talk about money. They talk about legacy. Well, meanwhile, we talk about stimulus checks and huge tax returns. And until we change that educational process and that mindset, it's not going to change. Now, when you think of this one thing, we have these 4 roadblocks in this country that stop everyone from becoming wealthy. And maybe becoming wealthy is not your goal, but if you want to not struggle financially, you have to come to bear with these 4 roadblocks, because these are what stops anyone from getting their head above water financially. Your number one tax, your number one expense right now is taxes. I know a lot of folks think it's their kids, they think it's their spouse, they think it's their shopping habits. No, your largest expense right now is taxes. And these 4 roadblocks are all connected. Taxes connected to debt, debt's connected to big business connected to inflation. Now understand this, people. If you make $50,000 a year and the government's taking a third of your income, that means you're down to about $32,000 now. And you're borrowing money based on $50,000 in income, even though your net income is less than that. Taxes is causing your second issue. And when you consider the fact that we have income tax, property tax, sales tax, state tax, federal tax, alarm tax, car tax, just because tax, glasses tax, you name it, there's a tax for it. I don't care what it is. If they can put a tax on it, they're going to put a tax on it. And we live in a country where taxes supposedly pay for the government and pay for roads and that kind of stuff, right? And because of that, and now the government is giving all of this money away. Let me ask you folks this. Do you think taxes, after all of the money the government just gave out and is continuing to give out, you think taxes are going to go up or down in the future? They're definitely going to go up. So if we're not careful and we don't have strategies and we don't have experts in position to help us with these strategies, we're going to pay this check back that the government wrote. The second thing is debt. Taxes cause debt. When a third of your income is given to Uncle Sam, how do you then pay for all of the things that you and your family need? How do you pay for that American dream, the white picket fence and the house in the suburbs, right? And all of the things that we are told we're supposed to have, car, household, mortgage, right? All these things. And if your credit doesn't get it, what you pay for the money you borrow increases. And by the time you pay off that debt, you've paid for that house at least 2 times. If you buy a $250,000 house right now, you have bad credit. By the time you pay that mortgage off in 30 years, you will have paid for at least 2 houses. That car, same thing. That student loan, you would have put 2 kids through college by the time you finish paying off the student loan. And because we don't have the income, because we gave it to Uncle Sam, we now have to float everything on credit and debt. And now we're also in a debt crisis because 90% of Americans are struggling and drowning in debt right now. So when you have a third of your money going to the government, another at least 30 of your money going to the banks, and which is why they have the biggest buildings on the block, and then big business comes in. And big business is really good at saying, you know what, Lionel? Back to school shopping is coming up. Come on, give me some of that money, right? We just had 4th of July, barbecues, all kind of stuff. You know what, Mr. McCray? Labor Day is the end of the summer. Time for a big Labor Day picnic. You know, we'll come on and come spend our money. We got all kind of Labor Day specials, and we're going to have some, and most of us have no idea what Labor Day is even about. We have no clue. All we know is it's the last celebration of the summer, and we're going to put some money out there and buy some hot dogs and stupid stuff, right? And then you got Halloween. Billion-dollar holiday. Thanksgiving used to be a time for us to come together. Now Thanksgiving is Brown Thursday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Tech Tuesday. A month later, you got Christmas, Christmas Eve. You got New Year's Eve, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter, spring break, Mother's Day. It just keeps going and going and going. And I haven't even mentioned bar mitzvahs, weddings, baby showers, graduations, sweet 16s, quinceañeras. I haven't even named all of that stuff. Birthday parties. So with all of our money being out there, this is why most Americans live in paycheck to paycheck. The first thing we need to talk about today is cash flow. So I know a lot of folks say, I need to get my income up. I need to get my assets up. The first thing you need to get up is your cash flow, because here's why. If you have an investment that's grown, but you're paying the credit card companies 20%, you're taking that money and just giving it to the banks. If you're making all this money in income and then you're giving it to Uncle Sam, it's just coming in the front and just going out the back door. So we have to stop hemorrhaging money first. I would do you a disservice by telling you about how you can make money, now you can grow your money, if I couldn't first tell you how to save your money. So folks, let's get back into it because that's the main thing. That's the one answer. So these roadblocks, we're not here for gloom and doom. I'm actually here to give you some solutions because the number one solution that we all need is a home-based business. Understand this, if you have a social security number, which you all should, is anyone here who does not have a social security number? Don't raise your hand, just log off and we'll act like we didn't see you. We won't tell nobody. If you are here legally, that's your business, don't even say anything. But if you have a social security number and you have an apartment, household, home, whatever it is, you are already set up for a home-based business. Here is where you start to get your money back from Uncle Sam and the banks, because now you get to unlock 475 different tax deductions. You get to hire your children. The government has a tax credit right now, but we can, if we're home-based business owners, we can hire our kids, write off $12,000 per kid. Now we can leave a true legacy. We can have money that outpaces inflation. We have time freedom, and now we can control our lifestyle. And here's the cool part also. Let's say Edna has a business and let's say I don't. Here's Edna, she's on a Zoom. She's using her internet. She's using her computer. She's using her phone. She's using a portion of her house. She's using electricity because she got the ceiling fan on in the background, right? And I am doing the same exact thing. Edna can write off her whole lifestyle. All of those things I just said, Edna could write those things off and all I have are bills. So if you don't have a home-based business, it is the number one asset. There's so many people who have a home-based business in their portfolio. I just heard that Rihanna is now a billionaire. She didn't get there on her talent. She got there on her business. So we all need to start thinking about being businesses, right? Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. We have to think that way because that is the number one asset we have. And my mentor says this all the time. It's not how much money you make, it's how you make your money. Because if you don't have a business, a home-based business, it's you work, Uncle Sam gets paid, your bills collectors come next, and then you get yours. If you have a home-based business, you do the work, you get paid, then you write off everything you have to write off, and then you give Uncle Sam and the banks what's left. That's you. You've changed the position. You're now first in line to your money instead of being third or fourth in line to your money. Now, here's the cool part, folks, because some folks don't have a home-based business. Some folks don't have a talent. They don't have a product. A lot of folks don't realize that we are part of a company that has experts in exactly what we're talking about. If you need your finances made over, right, going from worst to first, from being a zero to a hero, we are the home of the complete financial makeover. MWR, which is Make Wealth Real Financial, MWR for short. In the first year, when I talk about the last 14 months, this company and our team, they had over 10 plus people hit what's called the $1 Million Residual Ring Club earners. So we help people in 3 areas. We help people increase their income, right? Create passive and residual income. We help people save their money, and I don't mean save like save it, put it in the bank. Spray these weeds real quick. But to actually have your money rescued from Uncle Sam and the banks. And then we help people grow their money, grow your assets. In year one, in the 14 months that I've been around, 10 plus $1 Million Residual Ring Club earners, which means we have people, at least 10 folks, who are earning what a millionaire would have. If you had $1 million in the bank, earning percentage, getting paid off that money monthly, that's what these people earn just from a small investment of $4 a day. This company pays us 4 ways: daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. In the first year, we were able to put $500 million in tax savings back into the pockets of our membership. Another $500 million in interest saved off of their debt, which took 13,000 years plus off of the time they're going to be in debt. And we were also able to grow our investments by $500 million. Now, if you wonder how that works, we have a whole Facebook testimonial group. I'm going to go through some of these because these are, I can sit here and tell you, but documentation beats conversation. Check out Michelle here, $122 back in her paycheck, each paycheck. Now, she gets paid weekly or bi-weekly. Just by her using the tax experts, she's now getting what's called an instant pay raise. Taxes go down, her cash flow goes up. So now she's at least getting 240, maybe more per month just by using one of our strategies. Here's Tamika, 92-point credit increase. Here's Ken, 144 credit increase. Our membership pays for 2 people. Here's Mr. Harden, who you just heard from a little bit earlier. Him and his wife are now in the 800 clubs because now they have these experts who are increasing their credit score point by point, month after month after month. We also have Bill Shredder, where you can upload your bills to our experts and they will go to work to getting your bills at the lowest payment possible, right? This person, $36 coming back per month. Terrell right here, $60 on one bill, $120 another, $660 on another bill back into that person's household. Ken again is paying off debt, now has over $500 back in his household that he can now invest and grow that money, right? So instead of hemorrhaging money, he's actually getting money back and reinvesting that. And here's Sean, who not only was able to get his debt from 27 years down to 9, but now Sean also has what's called a millionaire date. And it keeps going. We have Genevieve, who now has her private reserve account set up, and she can now save like the big boys do and start growing her money like the big boys do. Here's Judy Ivory with a 20% return on her money. And we also have many folks who've been able to use our experts and buy land in the path of growth. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And we also, as of May of this year, we have a real estate program where we either can help folks get into their first home, or we can help people invest and get 20% return on their investments in real estate. So we're going to talk about all of that in a second, but just think about this. I want to do this real quick. Is there anyone else on here who has a story about how the experts help them increase their cash flow? Anyone want to guide? I'll take a couple before we move on.
I got one for you, Dana.
Sure, go right ahead, Stephanie. I'm going to put the spotlight on you. You and that beautiful kid.
Don't pay her no mind. So I was the type person who my credit wasn't necessarily bad, but it wouldn't move. It was just at a plateau. So it was to the point where when I came to MWR Financial, it was more so like, if you can do something to fix it, go ahead. So I was able to upload my documents. They took me all the way up to a $699. Wow. They were able to save me $36,000 in interest and 17 years out of debt. I will now be debt free in 2 years. And if I don't be on Amazon and be spending, I can knock it down to 8. But Amazon Prime, man. But what I love most is they changed my mindset to realize how much money I had going out and how much I could be saving by just keeping money in my pocket. So
let me ask you this: what was your score before you got to 699?
Now, why you want to bring that up? I
don't want to be in your business.
The lowest I've ever been is a 545.
Wow, so over 100-point increase.
Was at a 625. But for some reason, like every time you got it up, the creditors just brought it back down. So I didn't understand why it fluctuated. But working with MWR, they have been able to keep me at that 699 consistently, and they even had me on a score plan to go up. I just gotta work on my spending. But they definitely put you on the map.
Now let me ask you this, because Stephanie and I, we know each other. I'm a real estate investor. Stephanie's a realtor. So Stephanie, you know real estate. What's if I'm buying a home today? What's what's the difference in how much I'm going to pay over 30 years if I go from a 5 something to a 6 something?
It is so drastic. Credit will literally control everything when it comes to buying a house. It goes from approved to non-approved, from approved at 3% down, 3.5% down, to 10%, 20%, 50% down. So those numbers are key. Right.
Absolutely. Excellent. I want to get your perspective because I know you do one of our real estate calls also, which is pretty dope. So if you get a chance to tune into our 5 o'clock Wednesday calls, it's pretty special. Anyone else? I'll take 1 or 2 more testimonies from the team. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Stephanie, superstar Stephanie there. Please give it up for her. Anyone else want to add their story to this conversation so that we know what these experts are doing for each and every one of us?
Hey, Dana, it's Tia. Hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you and I can see you. I'm going to add you to the stage. Hey, Miss Tia.
I apologize. Hey, I apologize for any background noise.
No, you're good.
With my kiddos. But I definitely wanted to chime in about what MWR has done for me and my family. I am one of those who took advantage of hiring both of my sons. I have 2 adult sons and 2 teenage sons. So I hired my 2 teenage boys, and they are working for my company, and I'm taking advantage of the $12,000 per child deduction. My husband and I bought a home pre-COVID, and we were able to refinance that home right after buying it with MWR to lock in a 2.25 interest rate. We're working on refining again because it's been over 6 months. Now that my credit is knocking on the door to the 800, and they're projecting to be about 825 in the next couple of months, we're refining again to lock in 1.75% interest. Also, I'm not done. Also, MWR Financial helped us create our 0 millionaire date. And instead of paying this new home off in 30 years, we'll be paying it off in 12, saving $270,000 in interest. So I am excited about what MWR Financial has been able to do for me and my family, and looking forward to all of the new testimonies that it will have for each and every one of you if you decide to join this awesome movement. Thank you, Dana.
No, thank you, sis. That's amazing, folks. And I'll take one more because you heard both folks talk about how the experts help with stuff like debt and getting credit scores up. Is anyone out there who had some success with the tax experts and getting their instant pay raise going?
I did, Dana.
Mr. Clemens, how are you, my brother? I'll take this one last one. My brother, Mr. Clemens, how are you, sir? Tell us what the experts did for you, sir.
I'm decorated with his favor, and I'm ornamented with his goodness. but listen, what MWR did for me, they increased my paycheck by $475 on top of what I've always was bringing into my household. Also, the debt elimination team, they now my creditors had me in debt for 88 and a half years. Get that,
wow.
8.5. But MWR experts has gotten that down from 88 and a half years of debt to only 5.5 years. So now they also projected my millionaire date, which is December 2028. And I'll be debt free in about 5.5 or 6 years, somewhere thereabout, but I'm gonna speed that up.
So let me ask you, so Anthony, you said some powerful stuff there. So tell everybody what you do for a living.
Well, I am a teacher and I'm a published author.
Right. So you have a gentleman who's an author and also his day job, he's a teacher. Can you imagine a teacher getting, you said $400 or $500 raise in your monthly check?
$475.
So we have a school teacher who got an additional $475, and all he did was upload his pay stubs and the experts did everything else?
Yes, sir.
Folks, listen, we have our hands on something special. These are the secrets of the wealthy that we were just never taught in school. And now we have an opportunity to use these and start putting some stuff to work. And think of this, everyone you just heard from is now, they have an opportunity to take that additional money and snowball it and cash flow their money into their growth fund. Every single person you heard from is putting more money back in their pocket. Hopefully Steph's not gonna put it back in Amazon's pocket, but we're working on it, right? But think about this. You just heard testimonies for hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars back in your household. And then what do you do with that money? Because if you had invested 20 years ago and put that same money into an investment account that's earning 8% interest, you'll be a millionaire today. So let's start that process. Let's figure out how we can do that. And I'm going, yeah, Amazon Prime, we're not gonna, let's not go there. But just understand this, we have experts who increase your cash flow. Like I said, my wife and I's cash flow grew by thousands of dollars per month. And then our income, as of today, we had another milestone today that's also growing by $1,000 per month also. So I'm gonna share with you what it is, because a lot of folks think, well, this thing must be expensive, Dan. This thing must be expensive. If this company's helping people get thousands of dollars back into their household, then how much does it cost? Folks, think about this. The experts, for just the services, it's just $79 per month. For just having them lower your taxes, raise your scores, destroy your debt, and shred your bills, and help you grow your money. That's the membership. So when you ask, what's the business? You're looking at it. We have a financial makeover company. We have a service that everyone needs. I don't care if you're a 6 or 7 figure income earner. There's people who make $1 million a year who also have $1 million in bills, who need tax help, who need debt elimination help, who need help with growing their assets, who need help with shredding their bills. No one's immune to financial issues in a capitalistic country like the United States. Now, for most of us, like myself, like Stephanie, like Earl, like Anthony Clemens, like Tia, we took advantage of the business ownership. 2 reasons. Number one, it's only $40 more per month. It's $228 to get it set up initially, but it's only $40 more per month. And with that additional $40, we now can embrace those tax deductions that I keep telling you folks about. And the government will pay for your business. You just heard Anthony talk about he had an instant pay raise of $475. His business overhead, including the experts working for him, is only $4 a day. You heard Tia talking about she now can hire her kids. $12,000 per kid coming back in deductions into our household. And we get paid 10 different ways. We get paid daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. So folks, I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly because I don't have time to go into all 10 ways, but just know this. We have all these different ways we get paid. We have one of our favorite things is something called the daily guarantee, right? That's a guaranteed daily income. I've never seen a referral-based company that has a daily guarantee. And how this works is those of us who are part of this as a business, of course, we're going to tell folks about it. Of course, you know how many times I hear people talking about their credit score at the barbecue? I'm not impressed unless you're doing something with it, honestly. You know, folks tell me, oh yeah, I got Bitcoin, I got this. I'm not impressed unless you're doing something with it. So we talk about it all the time. How about this? How about the next time you talk about it, someone says, hey, could you set that up for me? Help me get that started. You get a referral from the company. Anyone out there getting text messages daily? Anyone got a text message today, by the way? Anybody? What, Stephanie, how do you know you're getting paid by this lovely company that we're part of?
Because I live in a real cool state. I get mine a whole hour before y'all at 4:01. And it says, congratulations, you have just gotten your daily guarantee. But it's every day like clockwork.
Look at my wife. My wife got hers. She's showing off a little bit there as well. And folks, this is what we're talking about. Everyone who's holding up their phone, I'll spotlight mine. Every single day, we get a text message from the company saying that we got paid. Now, this comes in every single day. It's a guaranteed. I get $30 a day, moving closer and closer to $50 a day, every single day. Sundays, holidays. If it ends in the word day, we get paid, and we get paid whether we get out of bed or not, whether we got COVID or whether we just taking a day off at the beach or not, every single day. That is called residual income. We have residual bills, so we need residual income also. We got bills that come in every single month, and now we have money that comes in both every single day, every single week, and every single month. And this is one of our favorites because it goes from $5 a day, like my wife just showed you, all the way up to $1,000 a day. That's $30,000 a month, and that's just one of our pay plans, right? And I said we have over 10. We have over 10 of those. We have weekly bonuses. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just know that if, let's say, Lionel is, he puts me onto this, and I say, hey, Lionel, how do I get this service? I go through his website. He's going to get $40 every time someone goes to his website to either become a customer or to become a business partner. And if they're a business partner, it starts at 50, but it goes all the way up to 125. And then there's other bonuses on top of that as well. Again, I don't have time to get into all 10, but just know we get bonuses that week every time someone goes to our website and does something. And here's the cool part. Lionel is going to build a team. There's over 100 people who have come to MWR through members of my team. I only know about 20 of them, maybe 15. The other 80, 90 people, I have no idea who these people are. I've never met them before in my life, but you cannot stop another person's excitement. And when that kicks off, like we saw happen during COVID, you're going to see these checks hitting your phone. As well as the $30 a day, you're going to see these other checks coming in. You just got paid this, you just got paid, and you're going to see all these text messages coming in. Here's the other cool part. We also have monthly residual income. I've been fortunate enough to recently capture 2 of these, both the luxury vehicle bonus and the presidential bonus. Both of these start at $500, but the vehicle bonus goes all the way up to $3,000, but all my cars are paid off, so that just goes into my growth fund. And the presidential bonus, which you can do whatever you want, that goes up to $100,000 per month. And then there's a whole lot more out there, but just know that folks get paid in this company many different ways. The company also has core quarterly profit sharing as well that a few people are blessed to earn as well. Now think of this. We've talked about how you get your cash flow up, right? We've heard examples. We've heard Anthony talk about how he's getting almost $500 a month as a school teacher back in his check, right? We saw just now many people are getting $150 a month, $900 a month in daily guaranteed income, and also an additional $1,000 a month in bonuses and other residual income. Take that and then put that into your growth fund, because this company has three main ways. They have more, but these are three main ways that we were able to grow over $500 million in investments just in the last 12 months. The first one's called the private reserve account. The second one's land banking. The third one's real estate. Now I'm going to just come so you guys can see my face when I talk about this. Understand this, folks. This part right here is where it gets serious. Understand this. We all have banks that buy our money from us. They offer us free checking and toasters and $25 if you do this, and a bag of M&Ms if you sign up for this account, and all whatever it is, right? We have all of these banks who come in and say, give me your money, and we will give you some interest back, right? If you can find a bank that gives you 1%, please call me, because every bank that I've gone to, it's like 0.0.0.01% that you're going to get on your money. Now, why do they buy your money from you? Because they then invest your money and make money off your money. And then they lend it back to us. We put that money in the bank every single month. We have to pay interest on money that we borrow from a bank that we give money to. It makes no sense. But this is what they do. Guess what? What if you could become your own bank? That's what a private reserve account is, people. The same thing that the banks do. They take our money and they put it in an interest-bearing account that goes up and never goes down, and then they use it whenever they want to. You can do the exact same thing. It's called self-banking or infinite banking. Through using a life insurance vehicle, you can put your money, 401ks are great, especially if they're matching, but they have limits. And if you try to get your money out of a 401k, you're going to pay fees and taxes. Limits, fees, and taxes for 401k. Roth IRAs are great. You can only invest up to $8,000 a year if you're married. You can't get access to your money until you get to a certain age. A private reserve account, you can use it as you need to. Your daughter's going to college, cool. You can borrow money from yourself, pay yourself back whenever you want. And the reason why you borrow is because that original amount stays in it, gaining interest. That account never goes negative. If the stock market dips down, private reserve accounts just stay still. Raises when the stock market goes up and never falls when it goes down. And you can access your money anytime you have to. So understand this, people. This is what banks do. You can become your own bank. And we also have something called land banking. Imagine buying land in the path of growth. That big shopping center, that big development, that brand new building that's on the X street or whatever it is, imagine you own the dirt underneath that. Let me ask you this, Stephanie. You're a real estate investor, right? What do you think how rich would you be if you owned the land under Silicon Valley before it became Silicon Valley?
Man, can you say richer than Bill Gates, Bezos, and Oprah all at the same time?
There'll be a building downtown with your name on it probably, right?
Most definitely.
Folks, figure this out. Think about this. Right now, outside of California, in Antelope Valley, California, it's being nicknamed Green Energy Valley, California. Warren Buffett has already invested $2 billion in a green energy company there, a transportation company. The Department of Defense is there and NASA's there. The Olympics are coming in 2028, and LA is building the first highway in 25 years through that land also. Our experts have purchased thousands of acres and they are selling them to us at wholesale, and we get to buy and hold and sell it in bulk when it reaches the peak of the market and 10x our money, just because we're part of MWR. And trust me, 6,000 jobs coming in for the Department of Defense means 6,000 homes. And imagine you own the dirt that this stuff has to get built on. We saw that there was supposed to be 24% growth last year. It hit 43% in just the first year. So that means your money is doubling every 16 to 18 months. So if you put 50,000 in there, within 2 years, it already doubles. And then 2 more years after that, so it goes from 50 to 100 to 200 and keeps going. And if that wasn't enough, we also, starting this May of 2021, were able to become real estate investors or invest in real estate as capital contributors. So we have a home buying program. We were calling it Fire Your Landlord. We had to change the name because someone already owned the name, but we can help someone get into a home in 4 to 6 months, even if their credit don't get it. And folks like Tia, who was a real estate investor, people can become capital contributors. Tia can put up money as almost like a hard money lender, put money into the deal, sit back and let the experts do all the work. Get the contractor, get the seller, get the buyer, get the property, take care of all the renovations. And once it sells, Tia is going to walk away with 20% plus of her money and 5% of the profits. And if she's smart, she took the money from a private reserve account, got the money, paid herself back, and then kept the 20%. So this is how we're showing folks how they can grow their money. So again, cash flow up because interest rates are down and expenses are down. Income is up because we're able to reduce our taxes. Credit scores up because we have the experts who are working on our stuff, and all of our headaches and struggles are down. We have now freed up our cash flow, increased our income, and now we're growing our money. Now, folks, listen, that's about my time. This is a system. If you're looking at this for the first time, you're probably thinking, how does this whole thing work? We have weekly, the company does weekly, what they call MWR financial ed universities, where they teach on all of these different concepts. We have weekly real estate podcasts done by the president and CEO of U.S. Housing Exchange, who is in this partnership with us. He's also a member of MWR as one of the representatives and one of the business partners. Every Wednesday, he does live podcasts on real estate, how to make money. He covers everything. And then we're part of what's called the Extra Digit Movement. We have daily overviews, online training libraries, private virtual sessions all the time. And we also have huge quarterly events. We just had a big major one at the end of July virtually. We also had a major one in June. We all actually came to get together and was on 20 acres of top income producer in the country. We were on his property, 20 acres. We were all there, was dozens of us, maybe 100 of us there, and we couldn't even see each other half the time. Some people on the other side of the lake. It's a two acre lake right in the middle. And all because this business is paying for his mortgage and he was able to refinance the property through our experts. Folks, listen, that's my time. At this point, you just have to decide whether you want to have the membership and have the experts start to help you save some of your money, right? Increase your cash flow, put more of that back into your household, like you heard Anthony Clements talk about, or whether you want to be like Anthony, be like Tia, be like Stephanie, be like Tasha, be like Earl, and become a business owner. Take advantage of the tax breaks. Take advantage of being able to hire your kids. Taking advantage of the different income streams and getting daily pay text to your phone every single day and getting presidential bonuses and car bonuses, whether you wake up whether you get out of bed that day or not, whether you go to work or not that day, it just keeps coming in every single month after month after month. Folks, I just got to tell you this. I am not a salesperson. We use strategies over sales. If you are interested in our strategies, using our experts, then text the person right now. Tell them I am a number 2, which means you just want the services, or text that person, say, listen, I want it all. Because whether you're number 2 or 1, if you're number 2, you can get the service for free just by referring 3 people. And if you're a number 1, Uncle Sam will pay for your business. So you can get what we're talking about self-funded by either our referral program or by the United States government. So when people say they don't have the money, we can do this for free, right? And my shirt is, that's not why I wore this shirt, but I'll let you see the shirt because it says, are you free or are you freed? Because at some point, debt-free has to be the new freedom. Financially free has to be the goal. And if we're not working towards that, then I'm not sure what we're doing. And if there are roadblocks in your way, congratulations, welcome to the club, because every single one of the persons you heard today had roadblocks in starting this business. No one just said, oh, let's do it, let's go do it. We all had issues, we all have kids, we all have life, we all have stuff, but we made a sacrifice. And now, as I told you, 14 months later, 5 figures in cash flow, 5 figures more in income, and almost 6 figures in assets grown in 14 months. And my wife can validate everything I just said. So folks, that's my time. I will open it up briefly for questions. I'll make sure we're not muted. And I'm going to remove my spotlight. Are there any questions? Because that's my 40-something minutes of fame right there. Any questions that I can answer? Farella, what's going on, brother? How are you, sir? Any questions? Can I answer any questions?
I got a question for you, Dana.
Sure, Stephanie, go right ahead, sis.
So I saw you did your your daily guarantee of $30. Then you unleashed your presidential bonus of $500 and your car bonus of $500. So that means you got over $1,000 just in bonuses on top of your daily guarantee.
Yes, ma'am. That's all on top of, yes. And here's the cool part. My wife and I are real estate investors. We started paying attention to this business when it started to keep pace with our rental property income. Now it's passing some of our rental property income, because if you know anything about real estate investments and you own property, we still got to pay the mortgage, right? And I use the properties as a bank. We take the money out and we use it for certain stuff, but the cash flow, the difference between what we pay and what we get from the tenants, that's our cash flow. This business for $228 is outpacing a $228,000 property. That's perspective for you. And everyone can't do real estate. Real estate's not for everyone. Real estate's not for, it's simple, but everyone, it's not for the squeamish. And now we have experts who will do that work for you also.
Wow.
And any other questions? That's a great question. Any other questions? And I'm gonna introduce you to a new business partner of mine. The guy who says Onyx Construction right there, he's from California. He told me, yeah, this Antelope Valley thing, that stuff is on fire out there. He lives right in Southern California. So everything we're doing can be fact checked. I don't do Mr. and Mr. Skeptic. I don't convince people. I share information and I help people get to where they're trying to get to, because that's what it's all about. And we have a little bit of everything here for anybody, including business owners, including real estate investors, realtors, W-2 employees, you name it. So if there are no more questions, let me just check the chat real quick, because I saw something in there. No risk of loss, absolutely. I will touch base with him. I got a couple private messages also. All right, folks, so listen, that's my time. I appreciate you all. This has been recorded, so if anyone wants to send us any